name's Nia, and I'm a filmmaker, TikToker, and student based in New York City. I've been interested in media since I was 9 years old. I started social media when I was about 12. I began making YouTube videos, which turned into Musical.ly videos, which has now spiraled into me having almost 300,000 followers on TikTok. Meanwhile, I was also completing a 30-month fellowship program at the Ghetto Film School. There we learned all the steps of filmmaking from pre through post, editing, pitching, and marketing. This year, I started my junior year of college, finished a collaboration with Netflix and the Ghetto Film School, got an internship at Jax Media and Sundance, and it's been a very busy year. I also work as a social media consultant at a digital organizing startup where I help connect TikTokers with social justice orgs who care about their causes. So that brings me to SNF. Social media and social justice have long existed hand in hand. Sometimes people look at TikTok and think it's just dancing videos and pranks and funny, silly stuff, but there's a lot of organizing happening on the platform and a lot of creators speaking on issues that are integral to progress. Me personally, the content I've posted about social justice and socio-political issues has gotten me featured in ABC, CNN, Crain's New York. As Gen Z, we're all well aware that we have to be the change we want to see in the world. And our biggest asset in doing that is social media, because it's how we all connect and it's a language we understand better than any other generation. My work as a filmmaker and my work as a TikToker do not usually coincide, but the skill sets that I've learned from each feed into each other naturally. Generally, I'm very passionate about social justice, I care about discourse, and I care about reform. From a filmmaking perspective, it's about creating a world where you can make something that's extremely personal feel holistic and worldly. Whereas when it's a TikTok, I can talk directly from my point of view to whoever's watching me, like right now. There's a lot of different methods to tell a story, and it's all about being genuine to you. That is the thing that I have to stress the most. A lot of people ask, how do you get started on TikTok? And really it's about finding a niche and finding a community that cares about the same stuff that you do. Meaning the easiest way to blow up on TikTok is to tell a story from your specific, unique perspective, no matter how you end up telling that story. Once you've found your niche, something you care about, and people who want to hear about it, follow other people in your community. Having mutuals has somewhat become a meme, but it's also really important because those are the people you can bounce ideas off of and people who understand what you're going through better than anyone else. Top 3 things to get started: be original, be fast, and be up to date. Remember, you don't have to commit to one medium. I introduced myself as a TikToker and a filmmaker, but one of my most popular videos is actually a rap video. I got my start on TikTok making rap videos, talking about socio-political issues. My personal favorite one is about misogyny. It's a video that came completely out of the social media space and different issues that I'd seen on the platform in regards to femme creators. I'm really interested in engaging with the perspectives of people in our generation who have different experiences than me. And when I saw the things about wallets and how it was fostering this misogynistic energy, I took that and I processed how I felt about it and I used it to influence my work. And it went really well. The video ended up getting millions of views, posted all over Reddit, Pinterest. I think NBC reached out to me about it. And that video completely came out of just being on TikTok and engaging with the content and the horrible comments that other women and femmes in my niche and my community were getting. My response to that was to take a skill set that I rarely used but enjoyed using and turn it around into something different. Gen Z's relationship to social media is absolutely unparalleled and it cannot be diminished. Being able to understand this technological language is valuable, and just because it seems like something trivial that you do every day, scroll through Instagram, scroll through Twitter, communications, media, marketing are 3 huge industries that are going to be completely shaken up by the rise of TikTok and social media in the way that it is growing right now. Don't undersell the impact of what you're doing and consuming every day, because it really could be the thing that takes you in a different direction in life. There's lots of opportunities in the space. I think a lot of young people aren't privy to how expansive and big and important the industries like communications, marketing, and social media are. As I said, my presence on social media has also given me the opportunity to be a digital consultant to lots of different organizations. This opportunity is super cool because I get to understand the industry from the front end as a creator and from the back end as an organizer. These roles are only going to become more prevalent with time, and young people are the people who should be and will be doing them. Even if your goal isn't to become a micro-influencer and have a platform of your own, understanding the language of TikTok and any platform that comes after it is super important and cool.